Google's NotebookLM brought me a real big win this week with a real big client. It was very impressive what I was able to do. So in a nutshell here, my client, they have a lot of collateral that they've created over the years. So they have multiple page PDFs explaining, frequently asked questions or different things to happen there in the insurance business. And this was a big one. So they have a monthly publication in form of like a newsletter that's about a 4 to 5 page PDF, and we wanted to talk about different ways in order to take advantage of this content and put it out on social media, put it on the website, put it in different consumable ways. And they were a little bit late to a meeting. So while I was waiting for this meeting to start, I remembered Rash's words talking about Google Notebook LM. So what this technology does is it takes your PDF, your multiple page PDF, and it breaks it down in all sorts of digestible ways. And most importantly, it'll create a podcast for you with 2 unique voices, and more than anything, it's a conversation about the PDF. So the too long didn't read crowd, which is very much me, where sit there and read all the details. Maybe we have different ways of consuming information and different ways of learning from a multiple page PDF or a publication. And so what I was able to do while I was waiting for them to join the meeting is I was able to use this program right here, and I was able to upload the PDF. So just one of the episodes of their monthly publication, and they have them all archived on their website, so a whole bunch. I was able to upload it, and once it did it, it gave me this chat window, and then it said audio overview. So I'm like, okay, audio overview, that sounds cool. And so essentially this is a podcast, and I'm going to play a little bit for you here at the end, but I want to talk about some ways where if you're working with a client in this situation where you want to kind of sell this service, but you don't want to oversell the service. So some very good points brought in by some of the other people in the meeting is that typically when somebody listens to a podcast, a lot of research is done about the host. So the credibility of the host of the podcast means a lot more than just the content that's being stated. So my advice is don't try to pass this off as an original podcast. Pass it off as just a different way to digest content and to understand concepts. And, we are in the era of the podcast, hence, what Rosh and I do here on our YouTube page and do our podcast every Monday. That was a little plug. It's just a way to take this old collateral and revisit in a different, more consumable way that maybe the modern consumer, maybe you've got your younger millennial or even the next generation that's working, and maybe they're not used to sitting down and reading a whole PDF and taking notes on it and learning and trying to turn it into content. And this is a different way to kind of go outside the box. So some of the things that I was really impressed with about this is it's 2 unique voices, and the conversation, the back and forth, if you didn't think that it was an AI or robots talking to each other, you wouldn't really know. Now, the second that you know what it is, where it's coming from, you can listen back with a very critical ear and hear that it's about 90 to 95% of the way there, which is still really good. And, it's just a way to be able to use the AI technology and people in the creative world and advertising or marketing and be able to, get this information out there in a different, fun way. So essentially, this publication, it's called Adjusting Today. And what they're talking about is insurance adjusting. Say if you lose one chair and you bought a set of 6 chairs, if that one chair gets damaged, can you justify getting a brand new set? So, that's the publication here in a nutshell. But give this a listen. This is pretty interesting. Now, listen, we're not going to go too much into it. I'll play it for a minute or two and kind of talk a little bit through some of the points. But it's pretty impressive how the back and forth happens like it's a real person. And there's, that call and answer and the uh-huhs or the asking a question. And, yeah, they did pretty good here.
Okay, here's a thought. Could your property insurance actually pay for stuff that wasn't even, damaged?
Sounds a bit weird, doesn't it? But yeah, it absolutely can happen.
We're going to dive into
even the
something
little
called
laugh
pair or
there,
set coverage
saying
today. It's
know,
often
like
buried in
I
policy
say a bunch.
details.
Exactly. We've been looking at this great piece from Adjusting Today by Gary Thompson. It really unpacks how policies
drop
handle
of who wrote
damage
it.
when items belong together.
And understanding this can, potentially make a huge difference to your claim. Much bigger than you might think.
Absolutely.
So our mission today is pretty clear. Figure out what this pair or set thing is really about. When does it kick in? What should you know? And maybe how can it save you some serious headaches and money?
Right. Let's start with the basics. Usually
So even the inflection in her voice, she sounds like she's a little bit younger. It's interesting. It's interesting to listen to two people take a 4 to 5 page PDF and ask
Insurance pays
questions
to
back and
replace
forth.
what's actually broken or damaged. Simple enough.
Seems fair. But then there's this twist, the pair or set idea,
the little
where
waits,
even if
the
just one
pauses.
piece is damaged.
The whole thing might get covered, yeah.
So why?
Finishing
why
each
does
other's
this
sentences.
exception even exist?
Well, it's because the value of certain things is tied up in them being, well, together as a unit.
Okay, like
Think about a pair of expensive
that
matching
pause
lamps,
after the that's-
or maybe a set of antique chairs. If one gets destroyed, the other one or the rest of the set just isn't worth as much on its own, is it? The value is in the pair or the complete set.
that makes total sense. Yeah, the source uses that dining chair example. If half your chairs are ruined by, say, water damage,
So the PDF that you upload, they'll just simply call the source. So they won't, allude to the fact that they're pretty much talking about the information off of this PDF. And now keep in mind, everything that's written in these publications or these PDFs or anything that's out there, that's all intellectual material of your client. So it's not as though this is an AI going across the internet and taking information from somebody else. This is information that's approved and then being synthesized into a conversation. So if you think about it, it's really just a different way to learn, a different way to take in the material, and then a different way to package and resell that material. So think about the different ways where, say, a company like this, if they're helping somebody who's insured try to work against the insurance company, if they normally would just email out, say, a PDF of, hey, these are the next steps, this is what's going to happen, sometimes not everyone's going to read that, or they're not really going to comprehend it. But if you can say, hey, listen to this 5-minute conversation talking about what you're about to go through, I think that would be much more appealing for people. So there's a lot of benefit to this and a lot of ways that creatives can use this to, cut down on your production time. You don't have to hire 2 people that sit there and read a script and have to fully understand it. You don't have to write a script. What it's doing is it's taking, that full source, the 4 or 5 page PDF that I uploaded here, and understanding the content and creating a real conversation around it. I mean, let's listen a little bit more here.
you don't really have a functional dining set anymore, even if the other chairs are fine.
Exactly. And policies often have a specific clause for this.
Right, the pair or set clause. What does it typically say?
Usually it gives you a couple of options. Option 1, they pay you a fair proportion of the total set's value, basically covering the value lost from the damaged item.
So it's breaking down, the different bullet points that were in the PDF and explaining it in a way that, I think a lot more people, especially, as technology goes forward, more people are going to understand and want to use this. So it was a win. It's a case study that I wanted to share. As Rash and I have alluded to in the past, it passes the S test. In fact, he was the client that, was very, very impressed by it and kind of wanted to just throw everything behind this technology and take all the collateral that they've collected for the last decade and repurpose it in a fun and creative way. So if you are looking for creative AI solutions like this, please like and subscribe the page. This is what we're talking about. This is what we're trying to do to help people. And then also listen to the podcast with me and Rosh every Monday, the Creative AI Show. It's on all of the popular streaming platforms and right here on the YouTube channel. If you haven't yet, please like and subscribe. And until then, we are just 2 creative guys talking AI.